Welcome back, everybody. Today is Monday, November 30th. I hope you enjoyed that time off with your family. Let's go ahead and get started with some announcements. So, this month, December, we have a few things going on. It's going to be a quick couple of weeks, guys. As you can see, our Christmas break begins on the 19th. So today is Monday the 30th. Next week on Tuesday the 8th and 9th, you have your English and math interims, which means in the morning you'll be kind of locked into a class, take your test, and then the afternoons will be freed up for regular class times. And your US history test is from the 16th to the 17th this month, meaning that we really only have a little bit of time for some instruction today in the next couple of weeks. Another big idea that we're going to be starting is small group scheduling. Everybody counts, guys. And so I want to be meeting with everybody. Everybody, but on different days. So, for example, on Monday, when we get to that independent work time, I'm going to be hosting small groups where you will come in and work together with me just so I can make sure that you're making connections and asking any questions you might have. So again, small groups are for everybody now, okay? And as we go through the week, I'll kind of let you know when your time is. So today we will review major concepts from era 1 through 3. I don't want to jump into new information, guys. We've got to take a minute to kind of look at what we did before the break. And this is important because many problems repeat in history. Um, how will you do this? Well, you're going to use major vocabulary to write about one of the first three eras in what we call a word cycle. So let's get started. In our era 1, for exploration and colonization, some of the big ideas were as follows. We talked about how colonies were set up in the New World. A colony is a new territory controlled by a country in another land. Once those were set up, we had mercantilism, that controlled trade that benefits the mother country. Remember, all of the raw materials found in the New World were sent back to Europe to enrich the mother countries. We also talked a lot about religious freedom and how this is one of the reasons why people came to the New World. We had pilgrims who were persecuted and different groups like the Catholics that came to Maryland. And so religious freedom was a big idea. And the final big idea from Era 1 was self-government. That idea that the colonial style of lawmaking was due to distance from England, too far away for the king in order for them to be controlled. So they kind of started up their own ideas. All right, Era 2 was all about the American Revolution. A big idea, the King of England really started to be a tyrant, someone who abuses his power. The colonists didn't like this and started to boycott or protest English products in order to send a message to the king, which this didn't work. The colonists wanted to ensure inalienable rights, which are liberties given at birth that cannot be taken away. The king was really trying to take away some of these rights that the colonists wanted to ensure. And so finally, we revolutionized. The colonists fought the king for their independence, winning the change to the political system in the colonies, which then became the United States of America. Era 3 was the era that we spent time on right before the break, okay? Um, we talked about how they were going to set up a representative government. We knew that now that they were away from the king, they needed to start up writing their own laws and taking control of themselves. We set up 7 different rules or ideas that the government had to follow. We talked about how we had to compromise. The states had to compromise to come up with the plan that they agreed on in order to ratify the final document called the Constitution. And that was a lot of information, guys, from August until now. That's a lot. So we're going to take a little bit of time to play a quizzes review game. Now, this will be set up as a grade for today. So if you don't do very well in the class today, you can always play it again on your own. We'll have it set up in the Google Classroom. Now, after the quizzes, of course, in your notebook for today, okay, you have the words that we just described the eras with. And down below, before you leave today, use words from the boxes above to explain the big ideas in one of the eras we've already learned about. So at least 4 sentences, guys. choose an era that you want to write about and kind of explain how these terms are connected. How do these explain what happened during that time? And that is it for today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.